So what are your visions and goals for the athletic department, and like what environment do you want to pass down to the community?
Oh man, my vision and goals, I want our department to have a culture of comprehensive excellence, and what I mean by that is whatever we do, I want us to do it at a very high level. I want us to compete and win, and I want us to be the best academically and out in the community and all that. So I certainly want us to be excellent in everything that we do. That's number one. Number two would be that I want to make sure our department stays focused on the student athlete. Up here it's very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day business and all that. At the end of the day, we serve you guys. So I always want our focus to come back to, we're really only as good as the experience that our student athlete have. So we want to be student athlete centered. And then third, we want to do a better job of engaging the community. We want to be out in the community. We want we want to get our coaches out to speak. We want to do public service stuff, charity stuff. Really engage the city of Cincinnati. So that's kind of a general answer to it. But if I have to summarize it down into one point, just every day I want us to work to make UC better, a little bit better every day.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go! Bear cats on 3! 1, 2, 3, bear cats!
This is the reason I'm not a swimmer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What are we doing?
I'm on my way to observe the swimmers practice. And it's like 5:15 in the morning. It's awful. This is why I'm not a swimmer.
Hey. Good morning, Josephine. Good morning. Do you wake up this early every morning?
Yeah, every morning.
We practice. So what is this?
This is my little daily cocktail. Multivitamin, some ginger root. It's good for metabolism, calcium, and a little bit of ibuprofen for your shoulder problems.
Perfect.
Gotta bring some food between practice and class. I don't have enough time to go home and eat breakfast, so I'll bring some cereal, banana, cheese, string cheese, and a protein shake. Okay, ready. What is cold today?
Josephine, for how many years have you been doing this, and do you never get tired of it?
I've been doing this for about 16 years now. It's always rough getting up 5:15 a.m. in the morning almost every day of the week. It's early, but at that time I kind of shut off my brain. I don't really think, I just do it. It's like a routine. Go up, get dressed, have some breakfast, get over to the pool. And then the first thing we'll need to do is change the pool because we're swimming a long course in the morning.
What do you have to say so far about the observing? What are you impressed about?
It's crazy.
What is crazy?
Always. For sport. I do the same for golf, except I do it later in the day, but I do like 6 hours a day when I actually practice. But no, I love it. This is dedication.
Explain for us how a typical day looks like for you with practice in school.
It depends on what time we wake up. Usually early in the mornings, maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. You know, we hit the weight room as far as conditioning, and we probably hit the field after we lift, and then right after the workouts, guys get some lunch, or if we can still make it, breakfast, hang with the guys. But other than that, we attack the day and we have class, and then if we're done, then go home.
I wake up about 8, class at 9. Usually during the season, every class is between 9 and 2. We got practice at 3 to 6, and then after that, you just go shoot more, just go work out and work on your game.
How do you combine the sport and school?
I'm just time management. I manage both. I find time here and there to work on homework. Sometimes it requires staying up a little later. School's supposed to come first, but sometimes you just have to squeeze it in there. But just time here and there.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think you guys know it's hard, but you really have to focus on like time management stuff. Trying to get stuff done early as much as you can before practice, and then after practice you're usually too tired to do anything. But you just have to make yourself do it. But it's hard, but you just kind of have to will yourself to do it. And it also helps like if you talk with your advisors and stuff about which classes you can take and like how hard they are, and compared to like professors that are going to help work with you, and professors who are actually going to like look against you for being an athlete, because that never helps the situation.
Okay, practice is done and we're up for school now.
Okay, Olivia, what are we gonna do now?
We're gonna walk over to the Learning Center and interview some coaches, talk about stressors and their expectations they have on the athletes.
What do you demand from your athlete? Yes.
Honesty.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
In this sport, it takes a lot of work to be successful. Training is hard. It's time consuming. We swim at 6 in the morning. We swim again in the afternoon. And then you got to go to class. You got to do other things. And very often I find that people that fall behind are the ones who aren't prioritizing properly. They're doing other things rather than, it's got to be study first. And if you follow your schedule, you can study and swim and have time for a few other things. It's when the other things become bigger than they should be, and that's when you get in trouble, and that's where the honesty thing comes in. Everybody runs into a jam. Those things happen, but it's when people try to tell me that they're going to be dedicated, but they've got to do this, they got to do that, they have a meeting here, they got something else, and to find out it's really them just not having their priorities aligned. So I think the #1 criteria as far as me being able to work with somebody is that I be honest with them and they be honest with me. Then we can work through difficulties.
Well, I think the demands I put on my, student athletes, #1 when they come to UC, the #1 important thing is for them to excel in the classroom. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to compete for me and on my basketball team if they didn't maintain a certain GPA average. So the #1 demand is to make sure you take academics #1.
First off, doing right in the community, how you represent the University of Cincinnati, and again, adding to that the academic end where, we as a football team, we strive to be excellent in schoolwork with the GPA in which Coach Jones is constantly reminding them of, we want to be higher the next quarter. And so there's demands put on them. For us in football, you have offensive line, defensive line, quarterbacks, wide receivers, your kickers and punters and so forth. Well, we compete amongst our own team for who has the highest GPA.
Okay, time for the second workout of the day, heading to the weight room.
I think one of the biggest stresses that I see is kind of balancing life with being a student and being an athlete. Sometimes a lot of the demands to perform well in the classroom
and then on the track, in the pool, on the golf course, and then the social life and like having to balance all that, where sometimes the social life kind of goes away, or there might be problems, and it could be with even teammates, the interaction. So I think a lot of that brings a lot of stress because you're around these people almost 24/7, and if you're not getting along with them, that kind of starts to impact everything else.
I think they have tremendous stresses. When they come in, even as recruits, when families come in, parents bring them in for their visits, I always explain that it is so different than, even if you're, obviously when they're coming in as recruits, they're a high school athlete, but the stresses they have on that are night and day compared to college, especially the Division I Big East level. They're coming here for academics first and foremost, and their academics include classes and meetings and required study tables. And then they also, on top of those things, which are already hard to balance, they're putting in workouts for weight training, for conditioning, team bonding, practice times, maybe time with a nutritionist. So you're adding way more on top of to a student athlete schedule that a normal athlete or a normal student would have at UC.
The biggest misconception, I would say that they're stupid. You know, I think you know, coming from a school, you know, that was very highly academically regarded, you know, things are different when you come to a school like this. You've got the dumb jock atmosphere a lot, and that's something that people is just not true. I mean, you have the Rhodes Scholars have to be an athlete. You know, you have all of these different avenues for athletes to strive and really excel academically. And, you know, there's plenty of evidence of that. And I think, you know, academic All-Americans, academic team awards, all those things really show that, you know, when your GPA of a team is like a 4.0 or 3.8, you know, there's definitely evidence of, you know, it's just not the case.
You know, misconception, I think sometimes that our student athletes are only jocks. I don't know if that's a word you use in Sweden, but that they're only about athletics. And so I think we have over half of our student athletes have a 3.0 GPA or better. Our student athletes graduate at a higher rate than the general student body. So I'd like to change that perception that our student athletes aren't students, because they are and you are. And you know, sometimes do we have some student athletes that are at risk or struggle academically? Yeah, but you're going to have that in every setting, and that's, you know, that's maybe 10-15% of our student athlete population, so 85% of it. So that's a perception that I think is false, and that we need to do a better job of telling that story. So we have wonderful student athletes with great stories and great abilities, and you know, we're proud of them.
So Josephine, after a long day, what are you doing, and what's the plans for the rest of the night?
Well, got back from practice, had some dinner, and now some studying, getting done, late night snack, and then time for bed.